Welcome to the STARS program, seniors taking active roles in society. And now, here's your host, Anita Finley.
Well, what if someone said this old body and 90 other reasons to laugh at life? What would you think? Well, it's not a TV show, not yet, and it's not a radio show, not yet, but it is a book. And Barbara Greenleaf was on our show before. She was Book of the Month for us at Boomer Times in, I guess it was in July. And so we're very happy that she's still doing this kind of funny stuff. And I just have to say that as one ages, they do get funnier, don't they? One does get funnier.
Well, one hopes. Yeah, I think it was George Bernard Shaw who said that you don't get old when you, what is it, that you don't get, you don't stop laughing when you get old when you stop laughing.
That's very true.
Which is, yes, a good way to put it.
Yeah, a lot of people really don't understand that really aging is, I mean, I don't even count my birthdays. I know people want to count them, but as one ages. And the only thing, if you want to get online, you sure know what your birthday is. If you want to get online, I mean looking for someone, because you don't want to lie. And
yeah, but that annoys me when in order to get on certain websites, they ask you your age.
Right.
And
right.
I keep putting different ages, so I don't know what age I am. Pick and choose.
Yeah, no, that is true. But because people, years ago, it was people introduced you to someone, or if they didn't introduce you, you had these long letters that people wrote to one another, and that's how you found people. But actually, maybe this is good. In fact, I read a statistic that over 70% now of older adults are online looking for someone.
Really?
Yep, it's a big now. It's apparently there's no other way to do it, not easily, except you do always hear people know someone who is a widow or a widower, and they try to hook them up. But and the other thing is, it's funny when someone said, "Oh, I don't want to go online because I don't know the person." Well, when someone introduces you, you don't know that person either.
Right, and the introducer really just knows one aspect of you.
Right.
So this way you get a chance to strut all your stuff.
Yeah,
so
all your
good.
stuff, right. Okay, so you have a lot of reasons to laugh. And what are some of the high points? Something you should know, I always bring my books with me to my shows. But I'm now working from my magazine because I loaned it to someone. I was so excited, and I forgot to get it back in time.
Okay.
So you're on your own.
That's fine, Anita. So your question is, what have been the highlights of my life?
Yes.
Or
what have been the highlights of your life that you could laugh? Well, I'm going to add something that you can laugh at. Let's make you laugh.
Sure. Well, yes. My husband is a great sport, and I have this whole section in my book called Married Since the First Crusade. So, when you have a roommate all this time, I mean, just hilarious things come up. And what most people seem to relate to who have long-term situations, whether they just live together or are married, was one story I have called A Married Man Walks into a Clothing Store. And so many women have said, oh, God, that their husbands won't even walk into the clothing store, that they have to buy the clothes and bring them home so he'll try them on, then bring them back.
Oh, no.
Anyway, that's kind of a funny thing. And another is cuddling between the coots, because as we're getting stiffer, it's getting harder and harder, Although one young person said to me, what's a coot? So, I don't know. I guess it's age-specific.
No, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know what a coot is. Sorry. What's a coot?
Oh, a coot. Well, you've heard them say, he's just an old coot. It's a derogatory term. Oh, really?
I haven't ever an old coot. Well, maybe years ago. No, I would never use that term today. It doesn't mean anything to me. It's funny. And you hear people say that?
Yeah. Maybe more in the past. Yeah, an old coot. So, anyway, and I make fun of it, comparing it to Love Among the Ruins. Because as we're stiffer, it's just harder to get it on, So there you are.
I know. I'm your best person, aren't I? But it's okay. No, but I do love your stuff. It's so funny, and it's cute, and and I don't want I don't really want to make fun of older adults, and I don't. But I know that you had some fantastic chapters with titles that were... Did they come easily to you?
Yes.
Huh?
They do, and that kind of sets the tone for me, because as I was writing this book, I was laughing and writing and writing and laughing, So I may have also mentioned that my husband has very limited preferences when it comes to eating. So I have one, if he didn't eat it when he was 5, he ain't going to eat it now. So we talk about all of that.
Right.
And let's see, I talk about going to a rock concert today and how when it's for people of a certain age, they give out earplugs.
Yeah.
It's true. Right. And reading glasses and, oh gosh, everything.
Heavens, that's funny. But
anyway.
The other thing, I used to work for a hearing aid company, and people didn't want to wear them because they didn't want to look old. And we always said, but if you can't hear, they know you're old.
I know. Isn't that the worst? Everyone's saying, what?
Yeah, but now people have these wonderful little earplugs in for other reasons. And so people don't know it's for hearing or for listening. So it's been pretty good for people.
Well, I agree, and whatever they need. And in fact, I'm trying out all these post-operative adaptive devices because I will have my hip replaced next week.
Okay.
And my husband and I are loving that grabber. That's terrific. And
right.
This is somebody said, in my book I have a quip that after a certain age, when you're down on the floor, you wonder, what else can I find while I'm down here? What else can I do? Because it's getting down isn't bad. It's getting up that's so exciting.
Yeah.
So,
well,
let's see.
Well, I have to
sorry.
say, no, it's okay. I have to say, though, to take this and to put it in a book was very brave of you. And I know you've written other things. I mean, this isn't your first go-ahead.
No, this is actually my 7th book, but my first funny one. I mean, I'm very serious.
Right.
In fact, my blog, Parents of Grown Offspring, tackles some pretty gnarly subjects. But somehow, I don't know what happened to me, Anita, whether it was getting to be a certain age or starting to do art, it just unlocked something in me, and all of a sudden I got funny. Who knows?
You were always funny.
And in fact, I did, before I forget, I did want to mention one thing. To keep the laughter going, I now have a little newsletter called The Laughter Letter. And people can get it at www.barbaragreenleaf.com. It's free. It's once a month, and just to brighten up your day.
Well, tell me something, the Laughter Letter. Tell me, if I were to read it, what I would see.
Well, you'd always see one cartoon. So the last one I had was, middle age, just when you get your head together, your body falls apart. Or another one had an older couple on a date, just as you were discussing. And the woman said to him, "You seem like a very nice gentleman, but I don't think I could get serious about anyone who has a laxative jingle on his ringtone."
Is that true though? No, it's just a joke. Right, that's very funny. That's just a joke.
I have a Miss Piggy's diet dictum: don't eat anything you can't lift, which I always loved.
Yeah, right,
so lots of things, and then I'm doing more and more research into the correspondence between humor and health. So whenever I find anecdotes or something important, like this is about Norman Cousins and how he felt he laughed himself well. So I put it in there as well. Right.
That's true. Laughing. We all know that laughing is really such a wonderful thing. I guess I don't do jokes because I'm not a good joke teller. I like to listen to jokes, but I don't know. I don't remember the last line, or was.
I'm the worst.
Oh, are you?
I agree.
Oh, okay, good. I would think that you might be great. The fact that you can do this.
No, that's why I look to other humorists for these quick takes. And no, I'm more developing the personal essay, and then the humor comes out of the situation. But no, to just do a stand-up, I forget, or I start to laugh too soon, or something always goes wrong.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So, has anyone asked you to do stand-up comedy? Because you wouldn't do it then.
I wouldn't. What I've done are I read from the book, And then if something pops into my head, I'll say it because it's funny. But no, to repeat a joke, if it's more than one line, and even then I can mess it up. So,
right.
We all have our own. And I think women don't tell jokes.
No.
I think men tell jokes.
Yeah, right. I guess, well, of course, now we see a lot of women really getting into all this. Women are now comedians. That one Frankie, that show Frankie, and what's with Jane.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so I guess.
Well, again, it grows out of their characters, I think. And people like in Downton Abbey, Maggie Smith gets all the good sarcastic lines.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
We all look forward to that.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And that's the other thing. I'm glad you brought that up. How about, why don't we get more movies like this rather than all this, all this space stuff and all the guns and the crazy things?
I know.
Wouldn't it be wonderful to go to a movie that we could just laugh at? I mean, there's some great actors who are funny, and they ought to start doing. I guess they're not getting the scripts.
Well, I'm sure that's true. And then when it comes to older people, they really don't know how to handle us. Either we're wisecracking or potty-mouthed or dull. I mean, I don't know. This is very unrealistic.
Right.
AARP, in fact, asked older people what they thought of the Best Marigold Hotel.
Yeah.
And they liked it, but they felt it was very unrealistic that retirees would just chuck everything and go to India.
Oh, that's not true. That's very plausible.
Well, I loved the movie.
I did too. It's just great.
But I often agree with you that I'm looking for more grown-up films, but films that have a lot of humor, and they're not easy to find.
Right. Well, I do find them somehow, and I don't want to go to the other kind, but I actually even enjoyed, let's see what it was. There's something now about a dog, and it's racing in the air, something.
Oh, the wind, something like that,
it's
right.
wonderfully done.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it is. And it's not sad. I mean, people didn't want to see it because I have a dog and I'm going to cry. No, just go see it. It's really worth it. It is.
Good.
So that's
we
great.
all need to laugh.
Right. And also, Disney's coming out with a lot of things that older people could enjoy. It's not just for kids. I saw Aladdin. I thought that was beautiful. And so, I like to go and come out with a smile on my face. But I wanted to tell you something funny that happened this morning, I think. I was looking I always get a lot of emails. One email made me open it. It's called Jiggly Arms. Do you have jiggly arms? And of course I have jiggly arms, but they're just trying to promote some sort of a nutritional supplement you take, and it's going to, tighten everything up right. But I'm going to give that to you.
Yeah, no, I don't let my arms come out to play all by themselves. They have to be
That's
covered.
true, but you can imagine something like that would get you. See, they knew jiggly arms. Oh,
right.
To see what that means, right? Of course, we know what jiggly arms are.
Well, you know what I think is so interesting? All the clothes now are sleeveless, but the manufacturers finally caught on to that, women after God knows what age, 30 or 40, don't want that. So now they're giving us all these little shrugs to put over the dress.
Right.
Yeah, give us sleeves to begin with.
Well, I actually have a gorgeous sleeveless sequin outfit that my daughter-in-law gave me, and so I went and took it to a dressmaker and bought chiffon, the same color chiffon, and had her make a sleeve out of it on both sides. I mean, I didn't want to give that up. Otherwise, I knew I'd never wear it.
Yeah, that was smart.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what the big dilemma is now. I don't think my husband should wear T-shirts anymore. I don't think his arms are looking so great. Do I say something or don't I say something? I mean, I have a big investment in this guy, so I don't know what to do.
Well, I used to say that with my husband because he had new knees. We were talking about knees and hips.
Yeah.
And I would say he always wore shorts. I said, Bill, why don't you wear nice long pants of some sort? Just because. But he never saw it. He didn't care, and I shouldn't care either, actually, and you shouldn't care probably either.
Well, I like him to look tickety-boo.
Yeah. We'll take Jiggly.
Right. You are so right. Yeah. Well, and especially in South Florida, it's warm, so you've got to to balance, I guess, fashion and comfort.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: do you ever Is anyone ever offended by any of the things that you say or write in your humor?
Well, what's interesting, I met someone who is with an organization called Successful Aging. They're taking aging out of the title because they say that people, I don't know if offended is the word, but shy away from, and they're calling it now Successful Living. And she said, "Oh, Barbara, that's the problem with your book. It's called This Old Body."
No.
But no, everybody
That's
kind of
the fun
have a good
part.
sense of humor.
No, but yours is a funny book. No, I mean, it's like, and my other reasons to laugh. No, don't you dare. I probably wouldn't have asked you to write. I mean, I don't think I would have. I love what you said, This Old Body. I mean, that's everyone. Do you know that there are 40-year-olds who say, "Oh, this old body I have already." I couldn't believe this person was doing that. But, of course, when they were 20, they look different, and they see it that way.
Right. I know. I think what's sadder even than seeing gray in our own hair is seeing gray in our kids' hair.
Interesting.
And a lot of the very young ones use Botox early, and
yeah, that's really true.
All that sort of stuff. They look a little on the hard side.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish I had done something with my face, but I didn't. So it's this old face going along with me.
Well,
we'll see.
That's what the plastic surgeons used to say. And I did have a cousin who, I think she was 40, and she had some work done. I said, "Why are you doing that?" She said, "Because if you start doing it now, you just have to do a little bit, and never make a major." She was right, I guess. But there it is. But I want to tell everybody that you really need to get this book. It's so beautifully put together. It's a great gift. It's funny. And I want to tell you again, it's called This Old Body and Other Reasons to Laugh at Life, and it's by Barbara Greenleaf, and you can get that. I'm sure it's on Amazon. And
yes, it is.
It's not very expensive. You ought to get it. It's, you never know what to buy a friend. It's a birthday. You buy them flowers. You buy them something. But buy them a book like this. They will laugh from the first chapter. As I said,
And then what's fun, thank you, is that you can share it with your friends.
Yeah.
You laugh together.
Yeah.
And that makes it nice and I think that's also a secret of getting older, is that we're going into this together. So it softens the blow,
Right.
I'm just looking at a couple of the quips here, Anita.
Go ahead.
This one is by a man named Barry Cryer. "I'm 59, and people call me middle-aged. How many 118-year-old men do you know?" So, that's a good one.
Oh, it's
and
very good, right.
Here's one from George Burns. "People ask me what I'd most appreciate getting for my 87th birthday. I tell them a paternity suit."
That's right. I love this. See, that's really true. And people can laugh at these things, and it is what people think. And unfortunately, going along with that, there are too many men that do get involved with these young, beautiful women, and they're getting in trouble. And it isn't paternity, but I was told, I don't know if we discussed this last time, but there's a very famous, big, huge community in the middle of Florida. And the sexual disease is running rampant.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Really? Mm-hmm. And everyone knows that. And I said, well, how's that possible? Well, the guys are either going, and they're going out and coming back with something. But also they said, no, it's just in the community because they're not using protection. That's the other problem. Once someone's older, they say, I don't need protection, right? But everyone knows that it is really a big problem up there.
Right. Well, I have one of my stories is called Memo to Husband, 10 Reasons Why You Shouldn't Leave Me for a Much Younger Woman. And I don't discuss STDs, but I do say, let me get you it. You'll have to do your research on Cialis, Viagra, Virilex, Exene, ageless male, and steel libido. I kid you not.
Right.
So,
it's true. Well, men have a different situation. Women want... It's funny. They don't really understand women, I don't think. So a man, if he'll stay in the age bracket of who he is, will be fine. But if they want to go into something younger, then it's either the money that they're after, or maybe in some instances it's the father image or somebody. But they would have to worry a lot more about, if they can handle
gold digger.
anything,
Yeah.
or if they can handle it, or whatever is going on. But I guess that's been going on for centuries, hasn't it? But now
Yeah,
we see
but
a lot of
then-
women are looking at younger men. You know that.
Of the cougars?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, the thought of having to hold in your stomach all the time and pretend you can read without your glasses and, all that is too daunting. No, I like older guys. They just shouldn't wear T-shirts. Anyway, but you're right. Well, here's one from a Florida retirement complex ad. I sprinkle these through the book as well.
Right.
Mint condition, male, 1949 model, high mileage, good condition, some hair, many new parts, including hips, knees, cornea, valves, isn't in running condition, but walks well.
Oh, fabulous.
Love that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
really cute.
And the thing that, and I guess maybe you notice, is that I usually don't talk about doctors and that. I have so many other things. I like to go to theater, I do things, but of late, people are talking to me about, I have this, I'm taking this pill. What do you think about that pill? And then I said, well, I'm taking this pill. And sometimes it could be an hour full of medication. I never remember talking about that when I was younger.
No. And women didn't. I think men did, again, more than that, the so-called organ recital. But now I am noticing that as well. And I do address that in this book. I call it, And How Are You? Because it was only used to be and how are you? My Uncle Willie, who when you asked him, how are you, actually told you. I mean, I think the word fine is what comes after how are you.
Yes.
But there you are.
No, that's what happens. And how about your husband? Does he equally feel like you?
In
growing older?
terms of his...
Yeah.
He just had a milestone birthday, Anita, and so he was a little blue, but then it passed, and that was the end of it. Well, I did a memorabilia table for his party, and he saw his whole life kind of flashing before him. And he says that he peaked in high school, but I don't think that's exactly true.
No. He peaked in high school. And is that PEEK?
Yes, because he was outstanding. But he's been pretty good right along. So he, luckily we have each other. And so we kind of, complain. We're of the same vintage, more or less.
Right.
So we understand where we're coming from. Yeah.
Right. Well, you know what we now see, probably the next book could be This New Body, because everyone's having new parts.
That's true.
I mean, it's this new body, because people... We thought about that years ago. Remember, they saw all the computerized parts, the Bionic Man, and the
right.
But women are making great headway in the way they look. They're using all these wonderful products, and they're having surgery. And if you look at a lot of the movie stars, you can't. Well, you just take Cher. I don't know how old she is, but goodness, look how she looks. So people are doing that, especially if they're in the public eye. They guess they have to do that, don't they?
I guess. And really, I think about it, but I'm thinking more along the lines of Scotch tape. Maybe I could just sort of pull that back, and, then my hand will unobtrusively just hold up my sagging eyes.
Or what I've been doing is getting necklaces that are high up around my neck, so I don't have the jiggly neck.
Right, and the scarves.
Yeah.
Low, and I like low lights. And Joan Crawford used to have pink light bulbs all over her house. I thought that was kind of interesting.
I didn't
pink
know.
Lampshade.
Oh, so is that what? And it makes the light different. Yeah.
Well,
I never thought of that.
Literally in the best possible light. Yes.
Yeah, in the best possible.
And I don't know. I mean, think of Gloria Swanson, who had said in Sunset Boulevard, "I'm ready for my close-up now, Mr. DeMille." Showed she was really delusional, because no one our age is ready for a close-up. I have my husband stand like 2 miles away.
Oh, really?
And then there's an arrow pointing to me. Yeah, or I like professional photographers to put gels over the camera. Yeah, and then I'm gorgeous. Like, who is that woman?
Yeah.
Loretta Young, who used to come floating down the stairs for her TV show, but she had a lot of gels over that lens.
Oh, really?
So good for her.
Well, of course, now they do this with on the internet. They can change the way you look, and it's when I go sometimes to maybe go to Saks or something, and I have a facial, and then they make me up, and I come out, and it's not me. I mean, it's some other person with all that mascara and all that other stuff on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the idea is not to look in the mirror too much. That's a help right there.
Perfect.
And
don't look in the mirror.
And then right, and you're concentrating on living, not being looked at. So there's so much fun that we can have right now, and I think we're much more appreciative of our friends, our spouses, the health that we do have. I think that's a big compensation for aging.
Yes, that's really true. It's the friendships when you go out to dinner together, or you go to the movies, or you do something. You're all together. No one's really shouldn't be looking at one another's body. That just their brain. And now of course brains are having their own problems too. So who knows what's in store? But I was I was going to say, in my complex there's an older couple, and they look so good. They get dressed up, they go places, they do things. I mean, I don't think that it's a problem. I never see them that way. I don't know about you. When I see my friends and all, I don't look at their exact bodies. It's just, who are they?
Right. And luckily, if you've been married a long time, especially men, they think of you when they met you.
Yes, they do.
That's
Isn't
good,
that beautiful? I know that.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Anita, but you were talking about the brain going, and this is a cute one from the book. I have a photographic memory. Unfortunately, it no longer offers same-day service. So that's a good one.
That's right. That's a good way to end. But Barbara, it's been wonderful talking to you, and I thank you so much. I really do, and got to get my book back because I love that book, and I share it with everyone. And so, thanks again. Take care of yourself. Good luck on your surgery. Stay in touch.
Thank you.
Okay.
I will. Thanks so much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
This old body. Let's get the book. Okay. Bye.